So last week we talked about studying the words of the masters and what they point to, studying the mind, seeing what's in there. And as we do that, we start to uncover different views. We begin to see the different attitudes and ideas that we hold in our own mind, our worldviews, and we start to understand how they affect us, how they impact our relationship with ourselves, with the world, with each other. And as we continue to uncover these different attitudes, these different views, we start to have insight. It's like we're climbing up the mountain, we get there, and we're like, oh, I get it. And we have this very deep aha moment, the what my teacher would call the little E, the little epiphany, the little enlightenments, where we see deeper into something that we didn't understand before. We have a very strong knowing, and there's often a sense of accomplishment that comes with it, where we think, oh, we're very proud of ourselves. And we're sitting on this nice little mountaintop looking and understanding and knowing, oh, this is it. I finally get it. And it's a wonderful feeling, and you should celebrate that and enjoy it. But at the same time, understand that that's not it. That there's more. That the view that you are enjoying in that moment is impermanent. That doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy it. What that means is you don't build a house there and move in. Which a lot of people do, especially on the spiritual path. They do it in the worldly life too, where we're seeing this very blatantly in the world right now, where people develop a view, an understanding of this is how things are. And they build a house there. They move in, and they dig their heels in, and they put barbed wire around it, and it becomes an integral part of their identity. And because you'd been doing your study, watching your mind, understanding these different perceptions that arise that turn into mind states and turn into views, and then you watch them fade as new experiences unfold, you see the impermanence there. So when you see somebody caught in a worldly way, you recognize it. You're like, oh yeah, you're just stuck in your views. But when we have the same exact thing happen with a spiritual view, a spiritual insight, we have this very powerful spiritualized ego that says, no, this is the truth. This is how it is. And you should just accept that. And what you've done is you've built a house there. You put barbed wire around it, and you have incorporated that view into your identity. And now you must defend it at all costs. And life is this beautiful, wise teacher. And she will just come along and just kick you off that mountaintop repeatedly if necessary. Make the whole mountain crumble. Earthquakes, rainstorms, whatever it takes to destroy that embedded view that you have if you want to keep developing. Now there's people that, make a home out of this view, and then they sell courses, and they create an entire lifestyle selling that view to others, and I'm sure, they have a reasonably nice life. And they stay there. And in the privacy of their own mind, they'll fall into the depths. But then because they built this persona, then in public, they have to put on the mask and climb up there and perform. But true spiritual growth is not a performance. It's reality. It's accepting the impermanence of all views. It's having a tremendous sense of humor, especially at your own mind, watching it, dig its heels in and saying, no, this is the truth. I know it. This is how it is. And if everybody thought this way, there would be peace on earth. And we would all be good. Until you meet somebody or you have an experience that shows you a different point of view, a different way of observing this truth from a different aspect of that diamond. And it looks completely different. And then all of a sudden there's the pain of the identity being cracked. And that can be traumatic, which is why, people build the house in the barbed wire and say, no, don't mess with my view. And like I said, it happens both in worldly life and spiritual life, which, by the way, are not different. We just like to separate them because, again, that's another view. It's like, no, I'm a good spiritual person. I like do all this giving and stuff, but then quietly in the silence of your mind, you're all whining and holding on and clinging. So as we practice, be aware of these views that arise. And again, if they're beautiful, celebrate them, enjoy them, but don't cling to them. Don't make them part of your persona. You are much, much more than that. In order to interact with the world, we need to have a persona. And we often have a whole collection of personas. And I've talked about this at other times, and we call it the caretaker personalities. These different masks that we put on in order to make others comfortable, in order to make a smooth transaction, in order to make an enjoyable experience for all involved. But the moment that our view shifts from understanding that it's just an impermanent view, and it becomes one of core identity, that's where we run into problems. It's tricky because as we develop more and more, you start to realize that, I am no one. There's no one here. I'm not a fixed personality. And that can feel very ungrounded. It's like, okay, what do I hold on to? How do I function in the world? And we do it through practice. The practice itself becomes the anchor. Instead of attaching our identity to somebody else or to an idea, we use the practice itself of meditation, of mindfulness, of contemplation. which ultimately what that looks like in person and on day-to-day life is service. And yes, I know this is another view. So as we are exploring different views, the key, I guess, is to understand that they are impermanent, embrace each one as it arises without clinging, without repulsion, and then let yourself go beyond it. Say, okay, I can see from this place. What else is there to see? And we bring to our practice the sense of curiosity, the sense of openness. And when we feel ourselves kind of digging in our heels, when we hit that resistance, we encounter somebody that challenges us, or we encounter a situation that knocks us off balance, that's an opportunity to practice curiosity, to return to our core practice, where we meditate and let go of all structure, where we practice mindfulness, the practice of paying attention. And we don't stay stationary. We keep dancing with whatever it is that arises. So I've often said that this path of Trikaya Buddhism is very, very simple. It can be summed up. And it's just pay attention and keep dancing. Years ago I would say keep going, but I realized that implies a destination, a forward movement. And that's not entirely accurate. So you might view changed. It's impermanent. But what I can see now is that the path is one of paying attention and keep dancing. And as I go through countless changes, as I go through thousands of different mind states, that's what keeps me balanced. That is my anchor, is to just keep doing this path. And whatever is arising is like, okay, I'm going to sit on my meditation cushion, see what happens. Even if it's boring, even if it's super exciting and all these different insights are pouring into my mind and I'm having all these experiences with different bodhisattvas and miraculous things unfolding. The practice is the same. Keep paying attention, you keep dancing, whatever comes up. And in doing so, we spiral through the pathway and we hit these different plateaus, these different views. And as we do, remind yourself it's perfectly fine to sit and rest in a view for a while, because there's nowhere to go. But our little ego mind is like, no, I gotta keep going, I gotta get to the top. And as you do, climb up the mountain of spiritual liberation, you'll find these beautiful little vistas. And some people get so obsessed with trying to get somewhere that they completely miss this opportunity to enjoy the view. So if you're feeling like you're just rushing, just stop and check out the plateau that you're on. If you're feeling frustrated and like things should be happening, why aren't I experiencing miracles every other day? Like what's going on? Like my practice is stalled out, nothing's happening. Stop and enjoy the view, the current view. Really look at it deeply. Pay attention to it. What is this what's happening right now, and allow yourself to fully embrace and enjoy that, instead of resisting it and saying, oh, I've got to get more, I gotta have more power, I've got to have more joy, more peace. It doesn't really work that way in my experience. So allow yourself to relax into the view. And this is what allows us to actually stabilize. Stabilizing a view can feel very anticlimactic. Because you've seen it. You've already had the initial giant light bulb, aha, wow, insight, big fireworks. And now you're like, oh yeah, I saw that. Big deal. But if you take this time to really stabilize that view and really get to know it and pay attention to all the tiny little details and dance with it for a while, then when it's time to move on, you'll feel that restlessness, you'll feel that curiosity start to bubble up, or life in her infinite wisdom will kick you off that view. And in whatever way it is that you start to actually climb again, you will invariably fall. And you will fall all the way back down to the bottom. You'll be like, oh, I don't want to start over again. But the awesome thing about stabilizing views is when you gain an awareness of a field of attention, you earn it. It's in you. It's been embedded into your being. So then as you pick yourself up and you let go of the clinging to the view of being a fallen person, I fell off the path, I screwed up, I'm a horrible person, I should know better. When you finally let go of that view, you rise very quickly back up to the previous views that you had stabilized. It's almost like they instantly come back to you as you return to your practice. You return to your meditation cushion, you return to your mindfulness practice, you start contemplating again, and those insights, they just come rolling back into your mind at the strangest times. You might be just, cleaning the bathroom, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, I remember this truth. And it just lifts you up back to that plateau that you're on. And then it happens again and again with every view that you have stabilized. Returns to you. And in doing so, each one re-solidifies. It reintegrates into your being, and then that empowers you to make the next big jump to yet another view. That's the beautiful thing about spiritual practice, is no effort is wasted. Even if you struggle and you have a million thoughts during your meditation, but yet you're giving this incredible effort to hold still, that effort is building power within you. It's not wasted. Every time you pay attention to a thought that arises in your mind, it allows you to start building the pattern where you see that, oh, this train of thought leads to that mind state, and that mind state leads to this view, and this view leads to those types of experiences. And oh, what happens if I just let go of that view and open the door for a new view to come in. Let me see what happens if I kind of flip the perspective around and see it from the completely opposite view. And it loosens all of the things that are holding us in a fixed way. And then suddenly life becomes very exciting, very new. And it reignites our sense of curiosity. So we can go from being very, very high to very, very low, and then back to being very high over and over again within the matter of moments, really. And if we don't cling to any of the views, there's tremendous freedom. It provides us the opportunity to interact with any environment, any person, any situation, any view, without getting hung up. So, when we obtain a view, give yourself time to stabilize it. Recognize that's part of the process. And then recognize the impermanence of it so you can go beyond that view. So we will let that sink in, and we'll do some meditation. So from the Pith instructions, know it is not enough to obtain the view. Once obtained, the view must be stabilized. Once stable, begin again and go beyond where you are. Awaken each moment to the impermanence of all that you think you are.